I want to do our favorite thing ever, and I want to take a look at the way too early AP Top 25.
Oh, hell yeah.
This is always fun.
Who's the source on this?
This is ESPN.com.
Like, it's their prediction?
It is their Mark Schallback. He's a senior writer.
Let's do this right. I'm going to check him out. Schallback.
Schallback. Schallback, yeah. SCHLABACH.
All right. He graduated University of Georgia. He works in the Atlanta office. So
great.
Yeah.
Cool.
Which honestly,
he's got UGA at number 1.
I would rather you just be biased towards the consensus number 1 team, because then we can just get it out the fucking way. We don't have to like put the team that should be 20 at 7 and make me mad. Like, just put Georgia at 1, and the most anybody's gonna say is, "Oh, they should be 2." He is a struggling golfer, proving you don't have to be a good sport to write about it. When he isn't covering the PGA Tour or Live Golf, he's probably cutting grass or picking up pecan tree limbs in Georgia. So this dude may not even know football. So we're covered. All right, let's get into it. What do we got?
We got Georgia at number 1. They're claiming down here Carson Beck, primed for a big season. He's got plenty of playmakers, lots of targets. Obviously, Georgia's tried and true. They have one of the best defenses in the nation. Kirby Smart is a very, very talented head football coach, has been and will be. I'm done talking about him. Ohio State at number 2. Ryan Day's proven to be a pretty good coach over the years. He's entering now his 5th season, I believe. Every Big Ten opponent in the regular season in the past 3 years, except for Michigan. Could this year be the year? Maybe. They have lost to Michigan 3 straight years in a row. Remarkable stretch, whatever. Number 3, Longhorns. First year in the SEC. This is crazy.
I don't think so. I mean, I hate them, but where else do you put them? I mean, they finished the season last year number 4. They don't give up a lot of talent. They maintain their starting quarterback. Everybody else gets worse. I mean, I have a hard time moving Texas out of the top 5.
They did land,
that as it makes me to say,
3 very prolific starters who they mentioned here: Isaiah Bond out of Alabama, Matthew Golden from U of H, and Silas Bolden from Oregon State. Matthew Golden and Silas Bolden, different names, not related.
Yeah, I think Isaiah Bond is ready to just step up and fill that Xavier Worthy role right away. I'm with. It's a shame, but I do think that they're correct.
I hate it. Number 4, Oregon. Dan Lanning. Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, Dylan Gabriel's a big deal.
Oregon Ducks. I mean, yeah, he's coming in after Bo Nix. Evan Stewart went there.
I mean, yeah, they land. I mean, I don't disagree, I guess. I mean, they land a ton of really crazy talent. I think Oregon got better. And I mean, in that. So, yeah, I guess I'm with that.
Number 5, Notre Dame.
Yeah, this is too high. We have to do this every year. It's always fun that we get to do this every year. But this is silly. We all know that Notre Dame is going to be number 22 by the end of the year. Yeah. They are every year. I don't know why. I mean, Riley Leonard, like, sure. I mean, Riley Leonard, I don't know. Like, I don't know. You lose Sam Hartman. That's a gigantic hit. I have a hard time seeing Notre Dame being better than they were last year. I agree.
At the bottom of this article, it says the Irish will only play 3 true road games this season. Texas A&M in their opener in week 1, right? Yeah?
Yes.
Purdue. So Texas A&M lost. There's no way.
I don't know. I'm not that confident. But
I'm pretty confident. I don't think there's any way. They're going to come in and they're going to make some noise. I don't think it's going to be a blowout game, but I think it's going to be a 2-touchdown game.
I know, yeah. I don't know. I could go either way. There's a lot of question marks about Texas A&M.
Purdue. And then USC. Those are their 3 true road games. They meet Georgia Tech at a neutral site, Navy at a neutral site, and Army at a neutral site as well.
That much longer. I think it's silly.
Number 6, Ole Miss. I feel like this is really high.
I think I do. Maybe a little high. I mean, but I would have Ole Miss top 10, I would say. I think they're primed to have a big year.
They could be primed. I think this is high. I think Ole Miss comes in, and they're always just the little brother of the SEC, and they're going to come in, they're going to compete, but they're going to go 8-4 with Texas A&M.
Yeah, I just think, I don't know. I think that they got better as well, especially this year in a year where Alabama got worse. Their schedule is going to be a little bit easier and without the East-West thing anymore, as is ours. I don't know. I mean, you get everybody back just about, including Jackson Dart, and you add good transfers. I like Lane Kiffin. I don't know. I think this is somewhat justified for Ole Miss.
Number 7, Crimson Tide. Now, this is the first season that we have seen Alabama without Nick Saban and his leadership in how long? Fucking 18 years or some shit like that.
Yeah, I think it's fair to put Alabama anywhere from like 5 to 20. Honestly, I think it's really hard. There's a lot of good things you can talk about. There's a lot of bad things that you can talk about. It depends which side of that you fall on. But I think literally anywhere 5 to 20 is fine. I don't know how I think DeBoer is going to hold up in the SEC. It's not like Washington was noted for having a prolific defense, and that's something that you need to have in the SEC. Admittedly, I don't know how many people, like coaching-wise, Alabama lost in the turnover shuffle. I don't know if they've kept OCs and DCs or how all that looks, but yeah, really, really hard team to handicap, and I have no idea. I wonder what their win total is at. I'll look for that.
Number 8, Mizzou.
Mizzou is supposed to be really good this year. That's what I keep hearing. I don't know if I buy it. It seems maybe a little bit rushed, but it's coming together now because 2 or 3 years they did the thing where kids can receive NIL money in high school if they commit to a school in Missouri, and that was like to try to elevate Mizzou. So now they got all these kids that they paid for coming in, but if Texas A&M, in my experience, is any example, you can't just pay to build a really good team and then be really good. I don't know if they have the coaching. We'll see.
This guy thinks Brady Cook is going to be one of the best quarterbacks in the SEC this year. I don't know much about Mr. Cook. Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that top 10 for them might be a little bit carried away. It feels very reminiscent of when they ranked us top 10 with that insane recruiting class, and then we lost to Appalachian State at home in week 3.
Number 9, Utah. Cam Rising back after that injury that left him out for 12 weeks or 10 weeks or some shit.
Yeah, he's back for his 7th year too. He's getting old.
Yeah, he is getting old, but he's back. Utah, I mean, everyone was super high on Utah early in the season last year. Cam got hurt. They never really could grasp onto it again. I mean, they did really well. They finished really well for what they'd been given. But USC transfer Dorian Singer emerges as favorite target. Damian Alford out of Syracuse, no relation. Well, they got a transfer from Washington, a couple of different guys, but we'll see. Rounding out the top 10 here, we have Michigan. Jim Harbaugh leaving first season without Harbaugh. They still have J.J. McCarthy, who was a really, really strong talent last year. He was young. He's got another year on him this year. He's hopefully got a little bit more size and more awareness. I like J.J. McCarthy. I like the way he plays ball. It's just I'm going to be lower on them until we can figure out what is going to go on with their head coaching situation. Obviously, they have one and they have a good guy in there, and they all trust him. But anytime you get a shakeup like that, like with Alabama and Michigan as well, and even Texas A&M this year, there's questions that need to be answered before, at least in my opinion.
Yeah, no, that's what I was going to say. I feel like Michigan is one of the only teams that's harder than like Texas A&M and Alabama to try to get a handle on. I mean, just because there's so many question marks. I mean, you lose everybody. I mean, you lose McCarthy, you lose Corum, you lose your head coach that had been there forever. You know, massive time of turnover. It really hurt their recruiting. It's still unknown if they're going to get sanctioned for all the cheating stuff that happened. So there's just a ton of question marks surrounding Michigan, and I feel that it's dangerous to put them this high. I think that we are in a TCU last year situation where people are like, oh, well, they just won the national championship. You know, how low can you put them week 1 when they just won the national championship? And it's the same thing that we saw with TCU in the 2022 national championship, where they get to the national championship, they get run completely out, and then suddenly it's like, well, how low can we possibly put them? I think they started last year ranked number 12. They fall to 17 after a couple of weak performances, and they dropped Colorado, and that's when everyone started thinking Colorado was the greatest team in the world when they beat TCU, who I don't even know if TCU finished 500 last year. So yeah, feels that to me. I think there's going to be a transitionary period for Michigan. I think they can get back to the top pretty quickly, but it's too much to expect them to do that in the first year, and I think that's probably a little high.
7, my least favorite team in college football, Florida State. I hate them. I hated them all last season. Everyone was super high on them. I was too low on them. I will admit, I was too low on the Seminoles last season. I should give them their flowers where they're due. However, it'll be a cold day in hell when I stop hating Florida State. And yeah, Mike Norvell, still they're at State. They use the transfer portal well. They got DJ Uiagalelei.
Yeah, DJ Uiagalelei.
Yeah. Oregon State. They got him after the season and from spring ball. Malik Benson out of Alabama came. I'm trying to read any other big names here. Marvin Jones Jr. out of Georgia. Darnell Jackson Jr. out of Miami. So they're probably poised to be pretty good. I just hate them so much. 11 probably feels about right. Maybe I would like to see them closer to 14-ish, but the 10 to 14 range doesn't feel super wrong as much as I hate them.
I would second that take. I feel like 10 to 15 is about the correct place to put them. I don't think they're going to make a ton of noise this year, but I think they'll probably finish a top 25 team. I'm not super low on them. I mean, Jordan Travis out, DJ Uyunglele in. That feels like a pretty smooth transition. And frankly, I think that DJ Uyunglele is a better pure quarterback than Jordan Travis. He hasn't really he just looked bad 1 year at Clemson and then hasn't really gotten his national spotlight since then. But I mean, he was elite last year at Oregon State, and he's coming off an injury. So we'll see how that plays into things. But yeah, Florida State, another program with just a ton of question marks, bad taste in their mouth after last season. And it'll be interesting to see how that all pans out.
Penn State at 12.
Pretty standard state ranking.
Middle of the road. NC State at 13.
NC State is supposed to be really good.
They might be a sleeper this year.
Yeah, I keep hearing good things about NC State. They did good things in the portal, and I don't know. I don't think that they're a legit national championship contender, but I mean, I think. Let me see.
LSU.
I don't know.
Rebuild. They took